Hey, happy Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Florida to be doing real estate. Well, it's not really a beautiful day outside because it's raining, but it's still a beautiful day to do real estate. And speaking of real estate in Florida, I wanted to come on today to give you guys a little bit of a market update as to where we are at right now, and then my sort of predictions of where we are looking at to move into 2025. Where is the real estate market going? Now, obviously, a lot of people make predictions. You've got experts that are way more experts than I am, but no one has a crystal ball. So the reality is that you have to look at the information and the statistics, real information, factual information, and then you have to sort of coincide that with the cycles of real estate and what happens in real estate with these cycles of ups and downs and where that takes the real estate market. So you can kind of get an idea of looking into the future a little bit by looking at what's going on right now. So, a couple things. The real estate market has slowed down on sales. Now, we have more houses for sale than we did last year, but the reality is that there's a couple things you have to think about. First, we are in the end of the year cycle for real estate. November, December, the holidays. There are just not as many home sales, and things do slow down during that time because obviously everybody's busy with the holidays and the end of the year. The other thing is that we have, which is our 4-year cycle, we are in an election year now. So with the election coming up, and on top of that, we've really had some changes in mortgage rates, an increase obviously over the last couple of years. And so all of these factors related together, everyone's kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, I think, and coupled with the fact that this is the slow time of the year, and that's why things have slowed down a little bit. So let's take a look at some factual information and some numbers, and I get these from very reputable sources. So as of September 2024, there were 192,310 houses for sale in Florida. That is a 30% increase from last year. So obviously, everybody got excited about the market in 2021, 2022, 2023. The cycle starts to get momentum, right? Where property sales, and as soon as properties start selling, prices start going up, and then everybody wants to get in on the game. So that is partly related to that, but that does show you the increase that we have. And with things slowing down, especially because last year it wasn't an election time, so that does give a little bit of an issue as far as how long it's taking properties to sell. So I can tell you that my fix and flip projects, I've got 4 properties right now that we're marketing. I've got another 5 that are going to be coming on the market, and we're kind of actually delaying some things because I want to put properties on the market maybe in fresh 2025, January, February. I don't really want to put my properties up for sale in December necessarily. But, the reality is that with that many properties for sale, it does tend to give a little bit more inventory. And when there's more inventory than what is necessarily needed at the moment, then you're obviously going to see things slow down, because when there is too much supply and less demand, things get slow. Whereas if there's a lot of demand and less supply, then that means housing prices, increase. So also in June, there's a 30% increase of sellers that lowered their prices. And I can tell you that on every single one of my listings for the last probably 4 months, we've had to lower the price. Now, I'm not talking about major price decreases. I'm not selling a house for $600,000 and then I'm lowering it to $500,000. I might have it at $599,900 and then I might lower it $3,000 just to sort of refresh that listing. A lot of agents do put in their search results where they're looking for price decreases on properties, so that will pop up on their radar. And sometimes it just invigorates the listing a little bit, brings it back to life, and gives the ability to have a little bit more people see it. Because obviously, when you are listing a property, when you're marketing a property for sale, you want as many people to see it as possible, because one of those people hopefully is going to be the buyer. So also by June, home sales decreased by 14%. And we had about 33,000 houses sell at that time. Now, that is a decrease of 14% from last year. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean detrimental things to the real estate market. This is just 2 months out of the year. It's 60 days. And with the election and the interest rates coupled with that, that is going to make things slow down just a little bit. The average property that is being sold and marketed is on the market for 57 days. That's the average. I can tell you from about 2016 to 2019, any properties, fix and flips that I had sold in the first week. That was just, the benefit of what was going on in that real estate market. Obviously, the real estate market, again, you have, the cycles of the market. So right now we're in just a little bit of a down cycle, but, and also pricing overall is not necessarily decreasing. Numbers are not showing that prices are all going down because someone lowered their price. But the reality is I've got a property in Palm Beach Gardens. I know that the property is probably going to sell for right around about $720,000. It'll probably appraise for maybe just a little bit more than that. But I just took a Hail Mary and I threw the property out because, again, prices were coming up. So this was earlier this year. We put the property out at $799,000. So I've had to lower it now a few times. We're now marketing it at $769,000 and more people are starting to look at it. If I sell it for anywhere near $730,000, I'm going to be doing very, very well. But the reality is that a lot of investors like myself, we wanted to kind of get in on the fact that prices were increasing over the last couple of years. So when you put your listings out, you put it out with the positive thought that you're going to sell it at that higher price. But even though on that property I've had to decrease the price, that property margin is still going to be about a $210,000 profit. So I have plenty of room in there. It's still a really good deal. But it's just a matter that the pricing increasing that we were seeing, especially in 2021, 2022, we're not quite seeing that right now. Okay, so the reality is a few things. First, I'm going to be doing a little bit more wholesaling right now, and I just wholesaled 2 deals, and both investors that bought those deals are doing buy and holds. They're not even doing fix and flips. So now I'm starting to open up my buyers list to finding more buy and hold investors, because those seem to be the people that are still really actively buying. As far as my fix and flip investors, people that I sell to, and I'm a fix and flipper myself, but they're not buying as aggressively as they were before, obviously. So, but buy and hold is a little bit different story. And again, I also have the options, like I've got a condo in South Beach. Unfortunately, the condo market's really taken a dive, but the property is I could rent the property for probably about $3,000, and that would be a decent cash flow to pay my monthlies on that condo. And and then obviously when the market is the cycle goes up again, which I think is going to happen in 2025, then I'll be able to sell it and still cover my costs. So that is another alternative that people have, is going ahead and renting that fix and flip now and waiting until sometime next year. So let's talk really quickly about 2025. Whenever you see a cycle like this, whenever you see a down cycle, there's only one way to go from there, and that is up. So the reality is that I don't know what's going to happen November 5th. I don't know what's going to happen when whoever gets into the White House, but I have a feeling that things are going to improve just because the U.S. economy is going to depend upon selling houses. So we need to sell houses, and I think that whoever's in the White House is hopefully going to make measures for that to happen. And again, with the holidays over, it's the new year, people want to buy a home, and it's going to invigorate the market. So I think that we're definitely going to see a nice increase, and hopefully we're going to see a little bit of a decrease in mortgage rates as well. So I think that sales are going to increase. I think the market is going to get better. I think it's just a matter of right now, we just kind of have to ride out the storm, so to speak, and wait for these elections, wait for the holidays to end, and 2025 is going to be a new hot year. I'm planning on doing probably 50 fix and flips projects in 2025 because I know that it's going to do well. So that's the way I feel. There's your market update. And in between the time that we see each other and now, happy investing.